you feel like you're shouting into the void with your content right now, you're not alone. But the people who are winning in 2025, they're not building followings, they're building cults. See, everyone's focused on algorithms, hacks, and reach, but they're missing the one thing that makes people follow blindly and buy religiously. A magnetic brand narrative that makes people believe. Let's use an analogy, a church versus a concert. A concert is a one-time thing, whereas a church is something that you return to every week because it gives you meaning. Brands that build cults think like churches. They offer identity, values, transformation. Let's look at the brand Nike. They don't sell shoes. They sell a belief that if you have a body, you're an athlete, and everything they do reinforces it. Ask yourself, what's the one story you've been telling again and again in 100 different ways? Labubu, a bunny-like character from Hong Kong toy brand Pop Mart, has become a cultural phenomenon in 2025 through the use of blind boxes, where customers purchase without knowing which figure they'll receive, and Pop Mart taps into the thrill of surprise and collectability. Celebrity endorsements from figures like Rihanna, Dua Lipa, even Lisa have further propelled Labubu's popularity. The brand's narrative centers around nostalgia and the joy of collecting, resonating deep with adults seeking comfort and escapism in uncertain times. This kidult trend where adults engage with childhood-inspired products has been amplified by platforms like TikTok and resale sites like StockX, with some figures reselling for hundreds of dollars. Your narrative is your North Star, and if you're not aligning to it constantly, you're drifting. And if you drift, well then people disconnect. Ask yourself, what are 3 words someone would use to describe my content? What feeling do they walk away with after watching? Let's look at Puma versus BPN as an example. A masterclass in external versus internal mission. Puma, the world's fastest sports brand. That's a company goal. BPN, on the other hand, go one more. Now that's a call to arms. A cult-following brand doesn't talk about what it wants, it talks about what we can become. Another example is 4Ocean. Their mission is to end the ocean plastic crisis. It's clear, inspiring, and repeatable. So pause here for a moment. Can you clearly state your brand's external mission in one sentence? Every Batman has a Gotham. Every hero has a scar. Why does that matter? Well, your origin story is what makes you relatable and aspirational. George Heaton from Represent 24/7, he's a young guy, in shape, building a $100 million brand and trains like an athlete. But it all started in his parents' house. That distance from relatable to aspirational is the magnetic pull. So pro tip, make your origin story repeatable in 30 seconds. The before, pain, turning point, epiphany, and the after, who you became. Every cult has a devil. Armies don't exist without enemies. Apple had Microsoft. Nike has laziness. Goggins has weakness. It creates tension. Shared opposition builds group identity. So what does your brand stand against? Olipop versus Coke. Olipop isn't just healthy soda, it's anti-sugar, anti-big soda. Your brand is a mirror. People want to see a better version of themselves within it. So the power move, codify what it means to be a part of your world. People wearing Represent aren't just buying clothes. They're saying, I'm disciplined, I train, I build. Another great example is Kill Crew. I own my pain, my anxiety, and I will overcome it. Your brand is a transformation vehicle. Make people feel like joining you makes them better. Create visual or verbal markers of identity, phrases, hashtags, rituals. Repetition isn't redundancy, it's indoctrination. You're building a drumbeat, different beats, but the same rhythm. Great creators say the same thing 100 different ways. They use stories, quotes, behind the scenes, reactions, skits, different styles, but the same core. Your goal must be that every time someone sees your content, they get pulled deeper into the world that you're building. You don't need a huge following to win. You need a belief, you need a narrative, you need a mission, and you need a mirror for transformation. The cults of 2025 won't be the loudest. They'll be the most aligned. This is where the new world is going. Will you lead or will you follow? Subscribe for more valuable brand and attention content, and I'll see you on the next one.